I'm making this video because I wanted to let everybody know exactly what my setup is and how I use it, why I use it, exactly when to use it usually, and pretty much how to have the most fun with each and every single type of weapon that I'm using in my layout. Now, I'm going to make my way over to this Thunderjaw so that I can show you guys before I start showing you guys what I have and why I have it. I want to note that I actually have 2 sharp shot bows in my layout, in my layout. And the reason is because I have one specifically geared for damage, and the other one is geared for tearing. This one I have all damage on it. This one I have all tear on it. I also have the bow, the regular bow, as well as the war bow. Why? Because I love utility. I play this game like I'm Batman, okay? And that's basically how you want to do things, okay? Now let's get into modifications. Here we have the regular bow. The regular bow I slotted 100% with fire, and the reason being is because I am not going to use this bow for anything. The only reason I have this bow is for those fire arrows. So I slotted everything to fire, and the more fire you have slotted to this bow, the more damage it's going to do. And the more you use the fire arrows, the more damage the fire is going to do over time. What I've noticed is that if I have at max, the way I have it now, I slot in 3 fire arrows, and I blast something that's weak against fire, and automatically it starts ticking down 60 HP per second. I slot another 3 and I fire another 3 arrows into them, then they're losing 90 health per second. If I do it again, which is pretty much the max, then I manage to get it, I think I get it to 105. But it's worth it. 105 per second. By then, the machine is usually going to die, no matter what. Even if I walk away and do nothing more. Okay? But that's what you're going to use your hunter bow for. Here we have the Shadow Sharp Shot. This one is particularly slotted for damage, for the most damage possible. Now, I'll show you exactly what I have. I don't have the best modifications by far. I'm pretty sure there are better modifications than 44% damage. I'm pretty sure there's better modifications than just damage. So I will be either I will or I won't. I haven't decided yet, but I will be getting. I would like to get the best damage modifications possible in order to do the most damage possible. Now, for this particular bow, I've slotted 2 damage coils and handling. What handling does is it allows the bow to slot arrows in place faster. Okay, I'll show you what it's like without it. No handling. Just slotting arrows in. One, two. See how long that took without spamming. Okay, let's do it again. 1, 3. There we go. Okay. Now I'm gonna re-slot it with the handling, and you're gonna see exactly. It's like using the regular hunter bow. That's how fast it can get. So let's go to crafting. Slot in the handling. And let's I guess I'll have to try this. Okay, watch how quickly. It's about twice the normal speed, which just makes this weapon, which just makes the sharp shot bow so much easier to use, especially in missions like this. Alright, now the other bow I have is the Lodge Warbow. Why the Lodge Warbow? Because again, I like utility, and this specific warbow I have slotted for lightning, and I might change that. When you first get the warbow, I recommend slotting for lightning. Why? Because lightning, all you gotta do is you slot this thing for lightning, put in one, you probably only need one arrow, but you slot it for lightning, automatically, most of the time, you're going to be able to get these machines and escape. That makes it easier. That allows you to, you know what? Look at that. One arrow should be able to do it for most machines. All you should really need is one arrow with lightning. Modded for lightning, all you really need is one arrow. Can I get it? Check it out. One arrow. Oh, okay. Two arrows. What? Okay. Three arrows. Why? But yeah, and all I did was slot 3 arrows after. I'm gonna do this, but right now where I'm gonna do now I have this spear, and doing this usually gets you, either stuns them or stuns them. It either knocks them out, or it stuns them, or it kills them. So I really don't need the warbow slotted for lightning. So what I'm gonna do right now, actually, is modify it to be slotted for freeze, which for some reason, okay, no, it's not happening that way. No. Okay, there we go. That's much better, much better. I'm only doing this to get some of these out of my way. That's it. Let's see. This weapon here. Let me tell you about this weapon. Modify this for handling. Not tear, handling. Why? Because the faster you can fire, the better. And last but not least is my tear modified. This is self-explanatory. I just wanted something overkill. I just wanted to be able to slot one. This is actually for two reasons: for farming and for just taking these sentences down. He's shaking his head at me, no, bullshit. With one arrow, I should be able to take that thing down. I should have been able to do it like that before. Shit, I missed it. Really missed it. Oh, missed the ball. Oh well. Once I take this guy down, I'm gonna go over. The guns on the side of this base actually very long. Terror Blast makes it really good to actually farm. You want to take out his tail? Get some shards for it? Go out. Slot in the harvest area. And boom. Why is it on fire? What's that with you? It's ice. Okay. It's no use. He really bounced off the floor. Let's see. I didn't get anything. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, those are coils, and these all suck. I'm gonna take them all anyway. Jeez. Alright, anyway. I would like to say that using the harvest arrows, if you're low on money, go ahead and find yourself some grazers that have the blaze canisters on them, and go ahead, use this, use the harvest arrows and snipe them off. They will give you, I think, about 8 blaze canisters, and what will happen is you can sell them for 4. So if you go ahead and you find yourself grazers which have 4 canisters per, you take them down. Take them down. You don't even have to take them out. Just shoot them out with the harvest arrows, and you will multiply the amount of blaze canisters you get. I literally had like 600 something chill waters and blaze canisters separately. 600 separately. I had my whole inventory filled up with blaze canisters, sparks, and such. Now that the Thunder Jaw is taken care of, I'm going to show you my outfits that I was using, because I know you guys noticed from time to time I'll switch between outfits. Now, my favorite outfit is this one, for obvious reasons. She's showing belly, okay? But it has function to it. It has, automatically it has, right off the bat, it has, I believe, 30 fire resist. Yeah, no, right off the bat it has 50. The same thing for the ice version and the spark version. Let's slap these right back on there. Oh, look at that, I had a better version. I had a better version which now gives her 9 corruption as well as 15 range melee damage. So these outfits should be slotted for their strengths, meaning whatever the outfit protects against, slot it for that element or that type of damage. The only one that you can say otherwise is this outfit, the Nora Survivor Heavy. The reason being is because its damage is spread across all, its defenses are spread across all the elements evenly, including corruption. The only ones it doesn't have are the ranged and the melee defenses. So what you want to do is you want to slot a ranged and melee in there. I just happen to have resist shock on there. If I had one with the maximum, what I would love if I can find it, is a weave with resist ranged attack at maximum percentage with resist shock at max, with a secondary, primary, secondary, tertiary, and and I don't know the version of tertiary of primary for fourth. So I'm going to say fourthiary or quatterciary or cordiary, something like that. I don't know. Corsiary? I don't know. If you know the word I'm looking for, I'll probably look it up later. I don't care. Anyway, a second, third, and fourth slot for shock, freeze, ice, and possibly corruption. The same thing with a melee one. If I can get that, I would put those two in here to get the maximum effect out of these. This one is the Banuk Sickness Eater. Its base is, I believe, 50 for corruption, to resist corruption. I just threw 2 corruption in there, and that's it. My 2 best ones. And boom. Brings it up to 107. The Carja Silk's heavy. I wasn't able to decide on how I wanted to format this one, simply because I already have something that covers all my bases at a very low level. I have something that covers corruption. I have something that's covering fire. I have something that's covering shock, and I have something that's covering ice, freeze. Not to mention, I have something specifically geared for stealth, and I have something specifically geared for range as well as melee. When you are fighting different monsters and you know the element that they're using against you, be it melee, ranged, corruption. Actually, I will go into detail right now in a minute on when to use each one. If you're fighting enemies like the Fire Bellowback, you're going to want to go ahead and put on the Carja Blazing Heavy. Why? Because you are going to want to defend against fire. The Fire Bellowback breathes fire. Same thing goes for the Freeze Bellowback. The difference is that you're going to want to equip the Banuk Ice Hunter Heavy, because it protects against ice, obviously. When you're fighting against bandits, go ahead and get your ranged. As a matter of fact, it depends on your playing style when you're fighting bandits. If you're like me and if you notice you're getting hit a lot, you're concentrating on your ranged enemies that are using arrows against you, and they're not going to be hitting you as much, but you're going to get smacked in the ass randomly by another bandit coming up with a spear or sword or an axe or whatever they use. They're going to come up and blindsidely smack you in the ass. So you're going to want to put on the Nora Protector Heavy, because this protects against melee attacks. For some reason, I don't know why it's not even above 100 for some reason. I'll fix that eventually. Now, if you're fighting Stormbirds or Glinthawks, you automatically want to put on your Osram Spark Worker Heavy. This protects against lightning-based attacks, which those flying mother flowers, they do use electrical attacks. Actually, I'm wrong. The Glinthawks use freeze. So go ahead and put on your Banuk Ice Hunter Heavy. Okay, off the top of my head, for let's see, what's this one? This one is if you're lazy or you're just starting out, you're just breaking into the higher level armor, or you couldn't get anything else. This is all you have. Go ahead, slot this with what you can, and this will be this will be your go-to in place of whatever you don't have. This is a good starting high level armor, because you can always use this as a base and then build. You can always go ahead and take whatever you have, whatever modifications you have, you can throw them on there for whatever you're fighting against. Now, if you're going to go into a corruption zone, put this thing on. I'm gonna go in order. This is the outfit you want to fight the machines that are corrupted, because they leave paths of corruption and you will become corrupted. Carja Silk's heavy. Again, no real use. Couldn't figure it out. Carja Blazing heavy. Off the top of my head, let's see. I automatically the fire bellow bags. They use fire type attacks. Who else uses fire type attacks? I can't think of any. I really can't think of any. I know there's more. The bandits do tend to shoot fire. They do have fire spitters and all that. So if you want, you can throw this on, or you can go ahead with the ranged. If you're gonna use this one against fire, against the bandits, go ahead and slot one fire and one ranged defense, one ranged weaver. For shock, you got those stupid birds with the sound thing. I can't remember the name of them. Let me see. You know what? It might be better to go down the line with the machine catalog. Okay, watchers, it doesn't matter. You can take them out so very easily. Striders, these are they don't have an element. They don't use an element. What you're gonna want to use, what you're gonna want to use against watchers, striders, not so much the grazers, but against most, if you do not know, go ahead and put on your melee, which would be your Nora Protector heavy. Nora Protector, because they have the light, medium, and heavy. I have the heavy. I sold the light. I sold the medium versions of all this gear. Go ahead, put on the Nora Protector heavy. This is going to be your go-to outfit if you have it. If you don't know what you're going to be going up against, this is what you want to put on. Now, if you know what you want to put on, let's say if you know where you're going, go ahead and look here. See what monster they have. See if you remember fighting them before. Okay. Here's one of my favorites, the Sawtooth. I love fighting Sawtooth. They're aggressive. They're hardcore. They hit hard. And here you automatically know they're weak against fire, and they have a blaze canister. You're gonna want to use fire against them. The one thing I kind of dislike, but at the same time I love, is the fact that if you set something on fire, it doesn't affect you if you get too close. Which, in a lot of games, I would have liked for that to happen, but only to a certain extent. If they're dead, leave it alone. That's all I say. As far as that feature goes. But anyway, this guy, you know he's gonna be punching the shit out of you as soon as he can. He's gonna be clawing you, bashing you. So go ahead and put on your Nora Protector. This guy is another one, Nora Protector. This is the stupid bird I was talking about. This one uses shock type attacks. So put on the Osram Sparkworker. This guy, he uses physical attacks. Put on your Nora Protector. The Snapmaw, he uses freeze type attacks. The Ravager, another physical type, but also uses ranged type attacks. So it depends. If you know how to disable his ranged attacks, go ahead and disable them, put on your Nora Protector. The Corruptor, ranged attacks unless you disable them. Same as the Ravager. Glint Hawks, they use freeze type attacks, so put on your Banuk Ice Protector. Stalker, they use ranged type attacks for the most part until you disable them. They want to rush you, then you want to put on your Nora Protector. Chargers, Nora Protector. Watchers are physical, Striders are physical, Grazers are physical, but I have seen them use ice type attacks sometimes. It depends. I don't know if it's the Grazers or is there another type? Yes, there is. The Lancehorns. The Lancehorns are the ones that sometimes will use freezing type attacks. They'll like leave a trail or something. I've seen them use it before. It's rare that I've seen. I've only seen it once before, but I remember seeing them. So with these guys, you're gonna want to put your Banuk Ice Hunter. These guys, these guys do not have an attack like that. At least I didn't see this. I've never seen it. So go ahead and put take out your harvest bow, take out your harvest arrows, and go to town with your melee, your Nora Protector. Scrappers, they use melee attacks, so Nora Protector. Red Eye Watcher, Nora Protector. They also use a ranged attack, but these are so easy, it doesn't matter. Broadhead are melee, so use Nora Protector. Lance Horn, your Banuk Ice Huntress or the Nora Protector. Long Leg, you want to put on your Osram Sparkworker. These guys, if you make their stomachs explode, they will explode with fire, so that's something to consider while fighting them, unless you know how to evade. The Sawtooth, Nora Protector. Shell Walker, you're going to want to use your Osram Sparkworker. Fire Bellyback, I already explained. Use your Karja Blazer. Freeze Bellyback, Banuk Ice. Expand him. He's physical, so use your Nora Protector. Behemoths, these are beasts, and I love fighting them. But again, they don't use any ranged attacks, and they don't use any elemental attacks. They are weak against shock, so that's something to consider, but only ever so slightly. It's very small, these areas that are weak against shock and freeze, so that's another thing to consider. But use your Nora Protector against them. The Thunderjaw, they have a lot of ranged attacks, and they have a lot of physical attacks. So go ahead and you use either your Nora Protector or the other one. I'll show you. Your Nora Protector or your Osram Arrow Breaker at your discretion. I would go in with the Osram, and then if you disable their ranged attacks, go with the Nora. Stormbirds, electrical attacks, use your Osram Sparkworker. Deathburn, ranged attacks. I've never been hit physically with these guys, so go ahead and use your Osram Arrow Breaker outfit. Tall necks, do not attack. Plain and simple. And of course, the corrupted machine areas are the only place you're really gonna find yourself ever having a chance to use your Banuk Sickness Eater. This outfit. The Banuk Sickness Eater is the only thing that's going to help, is the best one to protect you against corruption. I'm actually going to do a video on corruption and why corruption and when you should use corruption. Because I noticed that I didn't use corruption too much on my bow. I didn't use it on the hunter bow. I don't plan on using it very much on the hunter bow, but because I like the challenge. But I'll be showing you exactly how and when to use it, and why you should have the hunter bow in your layout no matter what. Okay, that's going to be the end of this video. I'll probably start that video in a little while. This is Roni Chigawa signing out.